Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to another edition of Prime Hour with me, Kum Lenat, on My Media Prime TV. This evening, we are going to stay in the atmosphere of elections in Cameroon, noting that we are expecting the results to be made public in the course of this week by the Constitutional Council. Meanwhile, calls have been coming from all quarters for peace to reign, for understanding and responsible attitude to be put up as Cameroonians await the final results of the October 12 presidential elections. On the other hand, so many men of God have been calling for the respect of the rights of the people. They want justice to be seen to be done to what the people have decided. How do we understand these two postures where, on the one hand, traditional authorities are calling for peace, on the other hand, religious authorities say they want justice? We're going to be looking at this very important topic tonight as we look forward to more developments as far as the presidential elections are concerned, with two panelists who are with me in the studio right now. We have Far Elvis Tayong, who is the Deputy Communication Secretary for the CRM party. Good evening, Kangaruman. We're glad to have you.
Thanks very much, Kumlenad. It's my pleasure marking present here today. I want to start by sending special greetings to Professor Maurice Kamto and all militants of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement. Of course, I was away and I am back, and I think we've got to put our voices to contribute towards change in this country. But at the same time, I want to send special greetings to some presidential candidates who are so dear to me. I talk about Barrister Akeremuna de Batonier. He has been very level-headed as far as the presidential aspect is concerned, especially championing the cause for coalition, which many ignored. And so I think I want to doff my hats to him. And then amongst all, everything, I'll set special greetings to Issa Chiruma Bakari of the National Salvation Front Party equally, who was equally outstanding as far as making moves the presidential election is concerned. For the others, I think that I would just say shame on them, because the calls that have been online, even here on My Media Prime, for coalition, for the need for coalition, many of them took it for granted, and I now know that they could be probably having some agendas differently. If not, how do you understand that I have a party that is only in Bunakwa, and I think that I want to rule the country? Where do I get representation from? Those are things that are very normal. So I think it's time. I just know that these people, I suspect them. I don't hide it from anybody, because they could not show that sense of the populace yearning for coalition. They could not show it. And then from their actions, we are now seeing how the wolves is now coming out of his sheep clothing. But then it's a very sad thing. And the fact that we are where we are today and getting things hot the way they are, these presidential candidates who were more of spies with the other granite political parties that came now in the name of G20 and all the like, the country where it's shaking, they have a role to play. Special greetings to the people of Gunoko Village and the Meta listening to us right now. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have Dr. Apostle Alfred Esingi, who is representing the CPDM party on this platform, as well as the Cameroon Pentecostal movement. We're glad to have you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo. Thank you very much, my fellow panelists. We're here today to talk about the happenings of our country and to see how to pave the way towards, you know, a better future and a bright future. As a matter of fact, the political season is almost rounding up, and you all know that we are not here for campaigns anymore. We are not here to do anything, to talk about anything, because our level has passed already, where we could, you know, tell people to do this and to do that. I happen to be a political analyst. I stand at a balanced angle where when something is wrong, I say it's wrong. When it is right, I say it's right. When we made mistakes, I say we made mistakes. All of you that have been following me here online talking, you would remember I always call the opposition parties, telling them that this thing is not something for an individual. It's not a one-man show. It's not something you just come to tell people that you're very powerful or whatever. It is something that the people are calling. They are telling you that you need to do this and do this. So since at that time they didn't do it or whatever, what I'm just going to do now is to watch the politicians play their game and advise our people and to work on our people to make sure that they don't find themselves into troubles that are going to put them in places where they don't like to be. So just listen to us as we go through on what we are saying, please.
Okay, just to note that Apostle Dr. Alfred Issinge is the Secretary General of the Cameroon Pentecostal movement led by Dr. Apostle Ambi Valentine Angwa. Okay, we are getting so many calls. This one, we have the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon that is calling for calm to be respected, to be respected in Cameroon. We have, on the other hand, we have call for calm and peace by the Southwest Chiefs Conference, but we also have a similar call from the Association of Traditional Rulers of Cameroon. But we also listen to the Bishop of the Diocese of Bafoussam yesterday, who said that he wants justice to be seen as being done. We have also had other bishops coming out to say that, okay, we should respect the choices of the people. On the one hand, the chiefs are calling for peace. On the other hand, the men of God are saying we want peace, but we also want justice.
Yes, I think that we are at a crossroad that we have to be calling a spade a spade. And if each and everyone was being honest and not being hypocritical, I'm sure we would not have gotten into the mess where we are now, and not even wishing to get into more mess or further mess, so to say. You would understand that with all those calling for peace, the only one that is valid, the only call that is valid is that of the bishops. I repeat again, the only one that is valid is that of the bishops. The rest are all hypocritical call for peace and whatever they call, the jargons they are calling. Why do I say that of the bishop is what we can validate, or can call it, probably we can call it tangible? It's for the simple reason. If you look at the bishops, so to say, you will realize that they are not only calling for peace, but are calling for justice. And they went as far as enumerating some of the loopholes that characterize the elections. These are persons who are just by nature, par excellence. Because you don't just get one morning and you are calling for peace. Have you asked yourself, what is about breaking that peace? You have not asked. That's why when I see the jargons written by the chiefs in the Southwest, whatever, not all of them are bad. But a few of them who have formed that caucus, transforming it into a ruling party, the CPDM, they are called, I would tell them, as for me, as an individual, and for few persons who are reasoning upright in this country, their call is falling on deaf ears, and they need to be very, very much ashamed. These are the same persons whom few weeks or months before the election galvanized, made an official communique, motion of support. And now that things are about falling apart, they come and start preaching hypocritical outings in the name of peace. They are not serious. They should take the example of the Episcopal Conference, because we are not calling peace, but we are at the same time balancing it that there needs to be justice. And if there's a need for justice to be, it means that there is a need for the fundamental rights of the voters to be respected. It is my fundamental right to vote. It's my fundamental right to get the results of what I voted. If you tell me it's my right to vote, and then you rig the election, or you do other malpractices, it means that you are telling me that it is your own right to rig the elections, or any other malpractices that we found in the polling stations that have not even been addressed, even by the elections governing body, which is another worry. We'll come to address that. I will address that in the course of this this program. But then the one some aspect is that I've gone through all of that. You see that when I saw that of the Episcopal, because I was worried yesterday when it had already come out, and I said, but how? But the Bishop of Bafoussam has been very outspoken, pinpointing and letting people know that it is their right to defend their votes, but at the same time discouraging those who go in for violence, like destruction of properties and all the like. That is a bishop. That is a man of God. Those are the kind of persons, if we had them in this country, all these other hypocritical things. You see now, one grandmama will sit somewhere, a CPDM cycle fan of an association, he's saying preaching peace. This other one comes in, another arm of the CPDM and the kangaroo system, preaching peace. And the arms are multiplying because they want to be heard. We call that an irrelevant outing. They should hear very well. Because we are where we are, just because people could not be honest with themselves. How do we explain that traditional rulers themselves are the ones, even the National Association of Traditional Rulers, who are those money all of these things? And people have forgotten that you could be a traditional ruler and you differentiate between your job as a traditional ruler or your calling as a traditional ruler and a politician. They have forgotten all of these things. Now all our traditional settings in the country have been damaged because traditional rulers have taken politics right into our respective policies. They have gone as far as disintegrating all our traditional values, and they come to blow grammar, status quo they don't have again any longer. And now pinpoint the few of them that have stamina. If I see them, I even remove my cap. I say, no, this is a gym. The others who have robbed themselves in the political gimmicks and the agenda of lies telling and frustrating Cameroonians, they don't have any value. If I were them, they should not have even spoken, because this thing is even getting people more annoyed. People who know what those who man those structures, what they do, their political outings, their agendas for years now, tells you that they don't mean business. Yet they have subjects who are suffering, subjects who cannot boast of a single meal per day. They have issues of roads in their respective areas. They have people who cannot go to school in their areas. What grammar are they blowing? Is this that they want to prove that they are relevant? What is National Association of Traditional Rulers manned by who? Politicians. Some are manned by senators, some are manned by whatever the case might be, and they come to tell us that they are preaching peace. No. The time to be hypocritical is over. Sometimes we used to come here and tell people it will not be business as usual. The prayer is that we keep praying that yes, we want peace, but you should not carry out actions that would jeopardize the peace we are calling for. Maybe these persons don't know that if things go out of control, myself and they themselves are not safe. That's why we've been preaching peace here, like you have been preaching peace and taking the peace side, because when things go out of control, even the journalists talking is not safe. Even the traditional rulers themselves who cause these wahalas in the gimmicks they are doing in their various areas, they too will not be safe. So why are we saying this? Even the clergy themselves will not be safe. Look at what plunged us into the crisis in the Northwest Southwest. Churches relocated to Douala. Prophets ran. Bishops ran and all the like. So it's not a very good scenario. What we have witnessed in the Northwest Southwest, we need to avoid it. We need to tell God to avoid it.
We need to avoid it. Voting has taken place. Should we also look at so many election malpractices that were caught on camera, and that is where the blame should also start?
Actually, we want to say that politics is not what the common man understands. Because politics is more complex than what the common man can see. Like we used to say that when two elephants are fighting, it is the grass that suffers. Because no matter what goes on in the voting sectors and everywhere, you and I know that elections is not just about the voting and counting of votes. There are other things that are involved when it comes to politics. We saw that in the United States of America when Donald Trump was removed in his first term. We saw that also in Nigeria when Peter Obi was said to have won the elections in Nigeria, and but we saw another person that came up and is now the president of Nigeria. We saw that clearly. That is to tell you that if it left to the common man, he can decide whoever wants to be at this moment and put them there. But it is stronger than what the common man can do. Now that we have seen that this thing is not just about the voting and counting of votes, what should we be looking at? We should be looking at what politics is all about. Or maybe should we redefine politics? Should we be able to tell politics to the common man and explain to him so that he doesn't bother himself to run around trying to chase some other clouds or whatever? Because I am seeing a lot of things that many of us don't understand. Because the people we support today, the CPDM, the MRC, and the others that we support today, they understand the game of politics more than the common man. Just like if you see some other people came up and said their hands were tied. That is why they made some certain statements when they were under this particular system. You know, they could not say certain things because of this. I believe that that is exactly what is influencing a lot of people in the country not to be able to say certain things, just like my fellow panelists have said here. A lot of them are also, their hands are tied, and we will accept that and we agree that, whether we like it or yes. Because you don't expect someone who is benefiting from something to come up and say that this is it, because each and everyone that stands out today that they want to come for an election or they want to be the president of this country, in one way or the other, they were also under a particular system that told them what to do and how to do it, where to go and where not to go. So turning again now and attacking people who are also under that the same setting, it's not a good idea. So that is why even our votings that we voted, we all know that everywhere in the world, it's not about the voting and the counting of votes, because a lot of dynamics are involved in some of these things. Because electoral commissions that we are talking about, many of these things are not independent in countries. Like, you know, the president appoints the person that is in charge of the body controlling elections in Nigeria. Also in Cameroon is the same thing and whatever. How do you expect that person to do something different from what your master has asked you to do? That is exactly what I'm trying to say. Sometimes when we want to look at people, we want to call people, we want to say, give names to people, we should ask what conditions they find themselves under. Now, when somebody is under duress or somebody is in a situation where he knows that saying this thing is going to cause us trouble. We heard that when Issa Chuma told us, you know, that is why he is apologizing for certain things he said and certain things that he did, which was not accepted, you know, by the people. And a lot of people also find themselves in that condition. They may not have had the opportunity to come out clearly like him. They may not have had the connections, the opportunities, and the protection from the masses like how he has gotten it. So these same people are found in a condition where they can't say things anyhow. Their words are counted. Whatever they say is counted. So therefore, I want us to take it easy with our people. Let us see it in realities. Because if you ask anybody, even we are talking about those who we are pushing forward for our presidents today and whatever, they will tell you that they have once been in this kind of scenarios before, where they couldn't talk anyhow, they couldn't say anyhow, they couldn't do anything anyhow. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think that the politicians who are running today, especially those who maybe did not win the election, or maybe those who were not attached to maybe the counting of votes as we are talking about today, some maybe SDF, Cabral Libby and all the like, when we want to talk about them, the way they appreciate an election is different from the way the CPDM would do it. It's different from the way maybe Issa Chuma would do it. So if we take our analysis from this angle, we will see why we are going to be nice to our brothers and sisters who maybe found themselves in corners, which we call tight corners, that certain things they cannot do. We heard it. We heard it from our brothers. We heard it. We heard it. And that's what I'm trying to say, that when you talk about irregularities and all the like, these are common factors with elections all over the world. It happens that maybe in one way or the other, all of us work on bad roads. The economy is tight for all of us. Everyone feels terrible about it. But when it comes to party politics, it's totally different. Party politics is totally different. Maybe we should change the dynamics of politics in Cameroon. In the first place, I don't know why we accepted the fact that we are a democratic country. I don't really know why it was done like that. And I don't also know why parties can also accept to work in coalition, and I don't know why some other parties refuse not to work in coalition. And as such, whatever came out of the elections, or maybe the votings and the polling stations, we cannot tell. Okay. Because many of us were not even there. Okay. Many of us did not understand how it works.
Okay, Dr. Apostle Isinger is not sitting in here tonight as a CPD militant. He's a clergy. So he's talking as the Secretary General of the Cameroon Pentecostal movement.
I was almost coming to that.
No, it's yes, it's sitting in as a clergy. Yes, far Evis Tayong, we have so many meetings that are going to be taking place across Cameroon for people to call on people for reasonable attitude towards the period when elections are made public by the Constitutional Council. But almost everybody is talking about peace. Do you have the impression that nobody seemingly is calling out the election malpractices we saw around on caught on videos around Cameroon?
Yes, I think a couple of minutes ago I said it is worrisome, very worrisome, that people are only talking about peace. You know, the word peace has become now a common noun. Everybody gets up from the backyard and is shouting grammar, peace, 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 peace. I wonder if they really know what the peace is all about and what it takes to preserve peace. Because knowing what peace is all about and knowing what it takes to preserve peace and knowing the different kinds of peace that does exist, be it physical, mental, and whatever the case might be, I'm sure the gimmicks will not be taking the phase in which it is taken. Now, when you look at it, Mr. Leo, you realize that the malpractices are in their numbers. They are in our quantum. And I said, for us to be finding ourselves telling lies in broad daylight, we have robbed the country into the mud. And who are those whom some people might call terrorists in quotes? The man who opposes a wrong thing from the government is called a terrorist. Really ironical. But they fail to understand that the man or the state organ or mechanism that does the wrong thing is also doing terrorism and treason. Terrorism and treason. Because if you are given the mandate to run an election, and for example, your officials are doing the other way around, and then you who is minding that election, you have not brought any of them to book. I said a few days ago, I am still giving this message clean and clear to Elekam. As the clock is ticking, and you have not made official moves, first a statement to dissociate yourself from your polling agents who were caught carrying out malpractices. You have not done any press conference to that effect. You have not asked the people concerned to be remanded in custody. There's one in Far North who collected 30 million. That one is not AI. I was talking about how he got that, his causes disturbing him and things like that. He was even caught. Another one was giving 30 slaps somewhere in the West region. I mean, an electric slap. When they were preaching all those possible and all the like. And Elekam, you stay mute. You only come after the election to give a press statement that we have done our job. No, you have not finished your job. People must be able to take their responsibilities in total. I said, and I keep saying, if by now Elekam has not remanded those charged with those things, with those malpractices in custody, it means Elekam is an accomplice. I'm not talking what I'm about. If you want to come out of it, let me hear that they have been bundled from Messager, those who refused even other polling agents from getting into the polling station, those who wore your Elekam, your Elekam muffler, and were caught on printing. With the Kum the same. Wherever, all the areas the same. West region, in fact, almost everywhere. And you are not calling them to order to show that you are not part of the mafia. It means you are an accomplice. So be on the safe side. Watch us like Pontius Pilate. And that's the reason we say that for the calls that are coming out, any jargon of a call I see, when I don't hear that this is the way forward, or I don't hear you saying that justice should be meted, all those who were caught doing this should be brought to book, then that your call for peace, you are just beeping. And that's why I now realize that we are in a situation where everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to make money. People have taken elections and have made huge sums of money. Those who formed phony associations in the name of they are coming for peace, they are there ripping their own part and going. Those who are going to the presidency turn by turn, level by level, that they are going to preach peace, they are going to do this and that. Now it's a money-making venture. But they fail to understand that they are supposed to hold those responsible. If an SGO is caught giving an order, or a GO is caught giving an order, he should be brought to the administrative court. Because that was not why he was assigned to that. But if the state does not bring the GO, or the governor, or the SGO to order, it means that state itself is also an accomplice. Most of it is the other grounded political parties that came to accompany CPDM in disguise. Or the USDP or WAWAD of Prince Koso, all those grounded other parties along the line. We will be calling names because things have gone out of hand. You should know those who are spoiling us if the time is coming. Because these are things we have to avoid. How do we get to one morning? Everybody in this country is suffering. I gave an anecdote somewhere. I said, even if you are a director earning 1.5 million, you are still poor. Because the dependency of your salary makes you to be poor. But if you were earning 800,000 francs, not 1.5 million, 800,000 francs, and you don't have dependency because there are job opportunities, people are working, people are busy and all the like, those who are working, they have good salaries, you will not have corruption. You will not have embezzlement. You yourself, the ministers, you will not go extra mile to steal state budget because you want to satisfy people who come to your house every morning to complain that they are sick, they are this, they are that, and you have to defend that title by giving them money because you are calculating that when elections come, those people you give the monies will able to vote for you. Look at where we find ourselves in a total quagmire. That's how the kangaroo system functions. And so I think that where we are, it just takes those who man us to put what they call some degree of decorum. You cannot be somebody placed to deliver us services and you talk to us rudely. It is absurd. You don't bully people as if they are your children. No, we are not in the kindergartens. These are the few things we have to understand. If you are a governor, you are a GO, you are whosoever, you don't take Cameroonians for granted that you could bully them at will. After all, you have the latitude. No, these are the concept of civil service, public administration that we have gone out of hand. Those who have done political science, they understand what we call by public administration. There is what we call accountability, which means you know that you are serving the people, and therefore you have to make sure that you are courteous when talking to them. Those parameters in the present day regime have disappeared. We now have people who will tell you that if you play, we will despise that. Along the line, I tell you, Mr. Leo, these calls for peace could have been able to yield fruit because when you get someone calling for peace, find out where is it coming from.
Okay.
If they cannot somebody or those who are CPDM, that peace is a kangaroo peace they're preaching.
Okay.
It's coming from the Episcopal. No, I enjoyed that one. The Bishop of Bafusam, as I'm speaking like this, in fact, I need to go and tap more blessings from the Bishop of Bafusam because if we have this kind of men of God, whether it's bishop, pastor, or prophet, no, I don't think we'll be at this where we find this ourselves. And most of these guys who are rigging elections are front benchers of most of these denominations. How come? You have to carry on fundraising. They give you 10 million, 15 million. No.
Okay.
Some churches should start refusing those things and sending them behind because they are all disgraced.
Time for,
to the Cameroonian system.
Time for me just joined us. He came in late. Good evening. We're glad to have you and your first take on the several calls for peace and calm from different quarters of Cameroon.
Good evening, Mr. Leo and co-panelists, and to all the televiewers around the world. We are at this juncture that we have to look into many things that are happening in our society, and it calls to the state of mind of each and everyone, because many think that the peace we clamor for will fall from elsewhere. No, the fact is that if they are calling for peace, we should first of all look into the factors of justice, because, you know, with justice, you don't need to come people are clamoring for peace. Let's invest too much in justice, because, you know, in the days of old, when the traditional rulers were ruling, we count 10 million years ago, before the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, as we are counting the calendar today, 2025, you see that there was good governance, because the little people that were in the notables, they were the one portraying, carrying the image of the people. But today you see social media has come to make it so in such a way that people are being in diverse ideas, diverse opinion leaders. You see that it is very terrible to control people, and the social media technology that has come today is more divisive in Africa than in Europe. You know, in Europe, people use it in other things. But when you see our leaders, our traditional leaders, our religious leaders calling for peace, I think the call should be sincere, because at times the call is not sincere, because when they talk about peace, you must be sure that what you are doing at the hidden corner is clear. Because, you know, in certain like in council, village councils, when they ask for accountability, it doesn't come up. Even in churches, that is where it starts from. Because you cannot be pronouncing peace and without aligning the real factors who are justice. You know, in the society you have fairness, you have humility, you have harmony, you have stability, you have some facts, some tolerance that makes up the product of peace. But when we just count and say peace, it sounds like it is not complete. We must look at those little factors that combine to make peace happen. That is what we are talking of today. And if the traditional rulers of today are calling for peace, it is just simply because people have gone outlaws. They don't more respect the traditional rulers as it was in the days of old, and the traditional rulers also are being tempted by the political parties, by the regime in place, because they use them for their political gains, political interests, and even elites. You know, with what we have seen, or what we have the statistics we have at hand, there are some elites that are so influential in the palaces. You know, they turn the palace to be more weak, and the traditional rulers become like a doom, like a puppet of the village, of which in the days of old, the traditional rulers were being looked up with notability, with sincerity, with power. And then today, what is happening is that they have taken politics into the palace. And the fact that they have taken politics into the palaces, you see that the palaces are being divided. Some funds are not even on seat due to the fact that some elites have absorbed that palace, the traditions and cultures of our nation and of the days of old. Because, you know, I know very well that if really we want to learn about good governance, we have to tap it from the traditions and culture of our people, because there are a long-standing history of more than 10 millions. So if the good governance, like the government of Cameroon, is just 60-something years, so it is better they don't utilize the traditional rulers like puppet. They should utilize them like a source of information, a source of governance, a source of a power. There's power to reckon with.
Okay, let me just read. Let me read part of the statement of the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon on the presidential elections of 12 October 2025. A part says that based on what was observed on the election day, the National Episcopal Conference would like to express its satisfaction with the efforts made by Elections Cameroon Elecam to ensure that the voting took place in a serene atmosphere. The polling sites and stations were well known to voters and accessible to the vast majority, but they raised some issues,
Yeah, that's very correct.
They say our observations also noted the following: high abstention rates, cases of Kribi 1 and 2, Lycée de Tinga, Madame Fen Superior, and others. They also raised the issue of relocation of certain polling stations, a failure to update the electoral register, which still contains the names of deceased persons. Some bins were positioned in such a way as to allow voters to see the ballot papers discarded by the various voters, which was likely to influence the vote. In Douala, Yaoundé, Marwa, Garoua, and Betua, some voters left with ballot papers for candidates who were not their choice. And then we have an incident was reported in the city of Garoua, where following an intervention by the police on the convoy of the candidate Issa Chiroma Bakari, who was returning from his polling station, clashes between the police and young people resulted in serious injuries to a police officer and the burning of a gendarmerie truck. After the voting day, other scenes of violence in the towns of Chang and Douala were observed. With regards to the counting and publication of the results of the votes per polling station, a step provided for in Article 113 of the Electoral Code, our observers noted that these operations generally began at 6 p.m. in the presence of members of the local voting commissions, scrutineers recruited from among voters registered on the polling stations list, and few observers and voters. So they raised some of these issues. We'll be reading them as we go, but the issue now is, from every indication, there is anxiety in the air, and many persons are hoping to see that what they voted for should be reflected in the pronouncement by the Constitutional Council. How do we get everybody to the level where we do not go beyond excitement and anxiety and possibly violence?
Yeah, Mr. Leo, like I said, that actually the campaign periods are over, and the common man has little or nothing to say about the decisions that are being taken after now, and maybe during the counting of the votes and everything. The common man has nothing to say than just to express themselves and to say we are dissatisfied by what we see and by what we did not see. And we should also understand that the social media has played a lot of role to spread panic, to spread false information, to spread correct information, to say other things. But so the common man who picks it from the social media has their own interpretation about such information. So whatever they do with it depends on them and not on the administrators anymore. Now, but the people who can really do something and change situations about the panic and the conditions that are going on now, I will tell you it is the politicians. Because the politicians told us that there is something called party politics. And they told us to belong to a party. That is where you can express your civil rights better. And a lot of people came into the parties almost knowing nothing about what is going on in the party. Because what actually happens in our parties are being decided from different places, which some people have not even gone there. You agree with me that some of you are in parties, you have never had an opportunity to meet your administrators. You have never had an opportunity to meet your presidential candidate. You have never had an opportunity to meet somebody. So I want to separate the masses totally from decision making of what happens to Cameroon after now. We will agree that some of the strong problems we have had in Cameroon did not come from the masses. It came from politicians, right from the Eastern Regional Crisis down to the elections that took place in the Southern Cameroons, and then now we are also coming to another crisis in Cameroon, which comes from politicians and not the masses. Unfortunately, the masses find themselves in the middle of bullets, and stray bullets speaks a lot of them, and then they don't know how to express themselves. For example, my fellow colleague here was expressing himself, his disgruntledness, his satisfaction and whatever. As a matter of fact, he is just speaking on social media, because this is a media, and he's speaking like that. But when it comes to decision making and to effect change, it has nothing to do with us who are talking here. It has everything to do with those who are up there. If a politician gets up today and says tomorrow there is war, there will be war, because the masses will get from him and they will follow him. If a politician says there will be no war, there will be no war. In Nigeria, Peter Obi said he's not going to call anybody on the street. Let everybody go home. And when they went back home, he took the cases to the courts that be. Let me tell you something about some of the things we talk about the courts that be. It is only proper to carry your cases to court, even if you believe that it's not going to be treated rightly. What is the reason? To make your case or your claim legal. Because tomorrow you will want to present your facts in some other courts that may not be inside Cameroon today, and you will not have a detail of how you followed the case, and it was not. Okay, you now agree with me that all the disgruntledness and all the things that are happening around comes from politicians, whether CPDM, whether whatever party, whether the opposition, whether the ruling party, and whatever. These decisions are coming from them. So what happens to Cameroon tomorrow comes from our politicians. And I will still say this again. They are to be blamed, and they will take the blame of what happens to the local and the common man. Because of what? You decide whether there should be war. You decide whether there should be peace. You decide whether there should be what? Everything you say, that's what we're going to follow. The bishops have said their own. That's true. But the bishops has nothing to do about affecting the changes and whatever. That's the truth. They are mere observers like you and me. Every one of us are observers. The truth is, we can be party members, but we don't take decisions on what happens to the country. And you all would agree with me that the man you are fighting at your quarter has nothing to do with the decisions that are made in Yaoundé, or maybe in one court in Garoua, or one court in Chang, or wherever it is. Now, people are afraid. People are scared. Some are already leaving. Some are traveling. Some are going. If you go to the airport, you will see a lot of people leaving. If you go to some of the borders, you will see a lot of people crossing borders, and some others, because of what? They are expecting the unknown and whatever. Now, this unknown is going to come from where? From the masses? No. From the politicians. They are going to tell us what will happen and what will not happen. So if we're talking about peace today, it's the politicians. If we say there will be war, it's coming from the politicians. They should be held responsible. And that's why till tomorrow, the Southern Cameroonians are still holding some politicians responsible for what happened in Southern Cameroon. They are holding them responsible. So how come today we want to hold the masses responsible? Because when they come, when they are riots and ever, they come to my brother's house, they will not ask him whether he's a CPDM man or not. Yeah. They will break his house and steal his car, steal his gun, steal everything that he has, or even kill him. Yeah. There's nobody that is written on their face, they are CPDM, or they are MRC, or they are whatever. It is not written. When they go out, the battle begins, and they begin to break shops. Okay, some are saying that there should be peaceful revolt and whatever. We understand Cameroon very well. We know that in the past, we have seen different kinds of revolt and whatever. They have never been a peaceful revolt, because hoodlums usually hijack some of these outings and turn it into something else. The persons that their shops are going to be broken, those that their things are going to be stolen, businesses that are going to be crushed down, these are all our people. We will start up again to pick up from the crumbs that have gone down. Politicians will continue, and they will always be friends. I want to tell you something. You may be surprised that you go in some big hotels and bars now. You will see some of the politicians sitting there and drinking and laughing. Because of what? They have what they can do. Tomorrow, any government that takes over, be it the ruling party or any other opposition party, if they take over, they will come to a consensus. They will come to the agreement table, and some of them will still take contracts from the government. Some of them will still carry out their normal activities like nothing has ever happened to Cameroon. But that mother will be crying for the child. That father will be crying for the child. You and I will arm ourselves and we will wound ourselves. And the politicians would still go back and celebrate. That is why I am saying that there is no reason why we should enter into any conflict. We should be able to listen to what the state has to offer at this moment. The state, when we talk about the state is not made up only of opposition or the ruling party. No. That is why in the government, we have UNDP, we have SDF, we have different people, even maybe Issa Chiroma is from the government, and so on and so forth. They are made up of different political parties in the government. So when we say government, we are talking about a combination of all these parties.
Is the SDF in government?
We have SDFs that take contracts from the government. They are in the parliament.
Professor Nkui?
Yes, but they are part of the government. Yes, they come into agreements.
You mean that once you take contract from government, you belong to the government?
You benefit from the system.
Are you not supposed to benefit from a system as a normal Cameroonian?
That is exactly what I'm trying to talk about. But the common man cannot do that. You cannot just get up tomorrow, you want to take contract from the government. You must know someone that knows someone that knows someone. And it will be connections from the government.
Okay.
So whichever government comes tomorrow, politicians will still find their way and they will take their place. But let me tell you, my brother and sister, we will be fighting ourselves for nothing, and nothing will happen. I will tell you the truth. You will attack your brother, you will break down your brothers or your sisters' businesses. Nobody will ask you whose business is this, whose business is not this. You burn tires on the road, and some of the people will be injured and some people will be harmed or whatever. It will be us that gets up tomorrow again and wants to continue our lives. Because after maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they will be calm or whatever. and life continues? What about the people we lost? What about the injuries? What about the handicapping conditions that we find ourselves? That is why no matter who you are, anytime you tell us that we must have justice before we have peace, I doubt your sincerity, because justice in politics sometimes is, let's first have peace, then we can start talking how to go ahead. Because if there is no peace, even that justice will not be realized. Many more people will go down, many more people will die. You will never see someone that is alive and then he wants to judge a case. People must be alive first before they judge a case. That is where I come with justice and peace.
Okay, maybe this is where when I released my book about something more than justice, the path to lasting peace, some of you never found sense in it, but now that is what you are preaching. Yes, so many persons did not understand where I'm coming from, but you see the importance of what I wrote. But now let me read this one from the Southwest Chiefs Conference. The Southwest Chiefs Conference work hereby appeals to all Southwesterners, all known Southwesterners, and all known nationals residing in the Southwest region to demonstrate the same maturity and calm that was observed during the periods of campaigns and throughout the presidential elections periods, to continue to exercise the same restraint and mutual respect for one another while we await the proclamation of results of the election, and more so after the proclamation of same. We are one, we all have the same aspirations. We should not let any considerations whatsoever pitch us against one another. Let peace reign in the Southwest region. Let us remain the example for others to copy from. We vehemently condemn any acts of provocation whatsoever the source, and call on all involved in the interpretation of text to do so solely in the interest of the Cameroonian nation. Yes, this letter should, yes, it is sent to the population, but I think the last paragraph says, we vehemently condemn any acts of provocation whatsoever the source. Do not provoke whoever, whether you are, I'm sure, from the government bench, or you are from the political party, or wherever, and call on all involved in the interpretation of text to do so solely in the interest of the Cameroonian nation. Who are those interpreting the text?
Well, those who are interpreting the text, from what he's saying there, will depend on where you are standing.
Is the Southwest Chiefs Conference?
The Southwest Chiefs are talking about, depending on with the interpretation of, well, I just want to dive onto the main issue you just touched there before I get to other issues here. No provocation. I've gone through the letter, but I call it a vague letter. I'm sorry to tell them. It's vague because it has not addressed issues as it is supposed to address. You cannot be the custodian of tradition and you're talking water in your mouth. How does it go? Now, these are they themselves calling for peace, and there's a statement that we are one. Who told you that we are one?
We are not.
When you are making a motion of support, and the president of House of Chiefs of Southwest during that period comes and tells you that nobody can change President Pobia, when results have not even come up to openly, I mean, in a media outing, that nobody can change President Pobia, he will be dead till the end of time. Is this not provocation? And you tell us no to provocation. Look at how they are contradicting themselves. I mean, people who are watching me don't understand what I'm talking about, because it's on air. I start asking myself, but these are custodians of tradition. They now give you the verdict before the results comes in. And they tell you that no, President Pobia will be there till... No, but what is their role of neutrality? They breach their duty of being neutral as traditional rulers. And that's why I say that all those traditional bullshit of conferences are zero. They should hear very well. I'm not talking about them about. Now, when we come, we say we are one. But we are one, we are suffering. You are not talking about our suffering. If you know that we are one, it is for you to hold the powers responsible for keeping us where we are. You don't do that. But you come now and you are playing a hanky-panky game, hypocritical state, by saying we are one. But now we are calling for peace. And no to provocation. The provocation will be specific. Provocation goes on two fronts. But one thing is clear. Every action leads to a reaction. And that is why even in law, if you are attacked in your house by a thief, it's about killing you, and you succeed in overpowering him, and even killing him, you have what they call clemency. But murder is a criminal offense. But when the judges in court look in between the lines, they realize that Your intention was not to kill the man, but you were trying to free yourself because he was at the verge of killing you. You get that kind of clemency. It means that what? Somebody provoked you and you killed somebody by error, which was not your intention. So the intent to kill was not there as interpreted by the law. Now, what about the issue of provocation? When you sit, for example, the chiefs are there. I have not heard them talk about irregularities as the Episcopal Conference has mentioned. It means they are part of that machinery. Hear very well. In your villages, rigging took place where people were. Results have been increased. We have complaints up and down. And you're not telling people, no, we know that there are some irregularities, but don't worry, the government will see what to do. That is how a traditional ruler goes a long way to appease the people. It is true. We witnessed some irregularities in my village, but leave it, don't go down. The powers that be will take care of that. That is how traditional rulers speak to people. Traditional rulers that have value. If politics has not eaten right deep into their fabrics, you get these outings. But then, where is the war here? Provocation is as we can say it. How do you explain to me? Let me take, for example, that you go to an area where you know that you had ghost town. Turnout was low. Just as the Episcopal Conference mentioned, the turnout was not even encouraging. It's far below 50%, if I'm not mistaken. At least it's slightly below 50%. I mean, the voters turn out. And it affected most of the areas. If you go to Ekona, Lelu, and all those areas, Moyoka, it was a problem because ghost town was there. Now, none of the traditional rulers, when all these things were taking place, could come and say that, well, we understand these things went wrong, but we are appealing to the powers that be to solve this problem so that next time people should come out in their numbers. These are people who mean business. But for people who go to fight for their stomach, you will get this kind of, I call this garbage. I'm sorry to tell them. I take responsibility for what I say. I call this garbage because I've gone through it in between the lines. I am not seeing any sense to it. If I put the outing of, if I put a communique, call it on peace, by the Southwest Chiefs Conference, and I put it on the Episcopal Conference, it's day and night. You see that one has relevance, one has truth, one has attacking the realities. Is it not provocation that you go to a polling station, you know that people turn out just about 30 or 40, and you say 5,000 came out? Is that not a provocation? You should mention, if you are talking about no to provocation, you mention some of these aspects. Is it normal that people who govern us, while we are angry because we are suffering and they are not suffering, they have fuel bonds, they have free housing, they have everything. We who don't have those things, we are complaining. And then you don't even tell them that, no, please, these people are already going through a lot. They are my people. Please talk to them in a calm manner. You instead take it lightly. They leave the objects and they are chasing the shadow because they think that they will go again and pick up some few crumbs, whatever the case might be. I am sorry to tell them, we as their subjects, we don't see any value in our leaders who are into partisan politics. If, in fact, if you are my leader, you are into partisan politics, I dismiss you. Leaders I don't give, because these are things we find ourselves here. Look at the provocation we're talking about, like what they mentioned there. The provocation is everywhere. If people have to burn tires on the street, which is wrong, what caused them? Something provoked them. Has it been addressed? No. If people decide and they are coming out in their numbers and they are rioting on the street until they are being arrested, something caused that. Could that have been avoided? Yes. Why not put a letter of this nature? And you say, however, because of these problems and this problem we discovered or we witnessed in this election, we however propose that the parties that be or the powers that be should try to prevent this by citing this, citing that. You will be palpable in your presentation. As of now, I don't see any value in what they say. Whether you are a traditional ruler from my village or from wherever, the moment you start writing this kind of jargons, I call it to order because they are well placed. And that's why they sing the songs and draw us into mess. And then they come out to preach peace. What peace are they talking about? They should allow us. We have gone through a lot. In fact, our file is full of things we cannot bear. So let them allow us. Go and be following your CPDM, making your declaration and eating your money. For these declarations, twist that and place in the dustbin. Just leave us. We are already suffering.
They have a right to express their minds, yes, and to call on the population to remain calm, except you want to take that right from them. They have a right. They have a right to say things the way they see them.
Mr. Leo, you asked me to stay calm, I'll stay calm.
Yes.
If it's going to ask me to stay calm, I'll stay calm. Not people who have doubtful characters because they have sold themselves to politics.
Please. Yes, sir, but we have flaring tempers now. The tension is we can perceive tension in the air. What language, what strategy should all the stakeholders employ to bring down these flaring tempers?
The stakeholders of Cameroon have to acknowledge the fact that Cameroon is at the stage of independent politics. You know, when I say independent politics, some will not understand, because if you look about international media, you will see that some countries they don't focus on the elections of Cameroon, why they are versed with matters in other nations. We just discovered that this is the first absolute independent election that is taking place in Cameroon. That is, it is historic. And if there are some issues as they are being outlined, we call on stakeholders, we as the civil society call on stakeholders to acknowledge that there have been irregularities, there have been itches, there have been some things down there that can be ironed following legal recourse. That is, they talk to the population with love, talk to the population not in a harsh manner. And if these things are put into what they say, I think the population will listen, but not have bad information. We know that social media, as I earlier said, that some parading messages, videos on that were being shared on social media were so tense, was making in a way that the tension was increasing. So it was in a atmosphere in such a way that people should know what to share on social media and the message that accompany it. And there was a lot of manipulation that caused the tension, the erosion and tension of politics in Cameroon. What I would tell social stakeholders is that they should cooperate with civil society. Let civil society, if they have message to pass to the people, let them cooperate, let them collaborate with civil society and tell them what, be sincere, because sincerity, and when you are truthful and when you acknowledge a wrong, I think even if it is a lion, the lion will save you. Even if you are in the den of lions, they will not even bite you. So what we say and repeat is that things were a type. Let the government or those people that were managing the election acknowledge it and talk to the people with love. Talk to the people, even state ministers. They should accept wrongs. They should accept certain things. They know how to talk with people in using light tongues, soft tongue. I think people will receive it. But it is that at each time a minister or a government officer comes up on board and begin to make slangs. You know, we are human enough, and at this juncture, we believe in leadership skills that cares and leadership skills that goes with conscience. But when you come up to bully at people, I think with the knowledge that people have, they can use other means to escalate. That is why you see that due to other things, the crisis in Nozo escalated due to social media. If there was no social media, I think by today it would have been history. You see, and we have started with post-electoral crisis. You see that we have to manage it. It is not the matter of government again. It should be the matter of the conscience of each Cameroonian to say we have had a lot, starting from the devaluation that happened, and we went to the Bakassi Peninsula War with Nigeria, and we went to the Central Africa, defending the Central Africans, and went even to the Haiti, and even just of recent we were in another war in Ukraine. You see, our armies went there. You see that Cameroon has gone through a lot. This is a moment of temptation, a moment of a lot that Cameroonians have to sit down and think again, then start by talking to the next neighbor. You see, people don't even socialize in the quarter, but they come up that they want to change. What change do you have? One that you don't even socialize with your quartermen or in your house. You don't socialize with your people, but you come up with what you don't have a unique front. The divisiveness, the diverse opinions that are in Cameroon is the problem, that we are stagnant, that we are being lost enough to focus and look to go into the face of the government, and the government on the side take it as an advantage to move on the people, to crush the people. And we remind the citizens that it is the fact that you should socialize yourself with either political parties or civil society organizations, but you want to go out as individuals. It can't work. Who is speaking for you? You must be able to show that this is the association talking for you, and this is the political party talking for you. That is why when all the messages about the election and all the result, return sheet result were viral on social media, we came up at ICC saying that people should refrain. People should refrain from all this social media wahala, because what you are sharing is only causing tension. The political parties have lawyers. They have people that do their legal minds, that they can use legal recourse to follow up all these things. The decision, yes, they should follow up. So the fact is that, as I'm talking, Mr. Kangaroo, the fact is that
which area to
my brother, I'm talking following. That is where we say we call it respect for constitutional barriers. The fact in Cameroon is that everybody wants to do the job of another. ELECAM is an institution. Constitutional Council is an institution. We have to first of all allow them do their job at a certain moment given. When it doesn't,
do you expect a different result?
My brother, they have to intervene with legal recourse, not just noise on social media or in the street.
Reverend Apostle, we have seen this peace corps coming from tomorrow in Idea. The senior divisional officer for Sanaga Maritime is having a meeting with leaders of some communities in Idea. And seemingly looks like the governor of the Adamawa is also going to be engaging some community leaders. At this stage where the climate is tense, who are those that are supposed to engage these peace talks? Because we know ourselves, if people really do not trust you, should you be the one to call for this peace?
Yeah, actually, to broker peace usually takes a lot. And sometimes it doesn't just take individuals to move around to talk to people. Sometimes it takes experts who are trained to manage crisis in countries. We must also know that a lot of people make money from crises that occur in countries. People are ready to sell their guns, they are ready to sell their arms and other things that they want to sell to get their monies. Some are ready to come in and, extract their own fuel and other things to go with it. So they will always send humanitarians, because it is said that humanitarians are good peace brokers. They will always come, share materials and food and whatever. But if a situation has gone out of hands and it has entered the hands of rebels, we must agree that the country is in a state where it's very fragile. In the north, we have the Boko Haram, we have the crisis in the northwest and the southwest, we have in the east, we have some tensions there. So we need experts to begin to broker peace, especially those that they have not seen their faces in places of corruption, bribery and other things. That's why one of the reasons that I got into the political scenario is to be able to see how I can help the people who cannot help themselves. Because I cannot be talking, because a lot of people used to say pastors are not talking, pastors are not talking, pastors are not talking. Okay, now when pastors come up and start talking, they say, why should pastors talk in politics? But you cannot frighten me, because at least in education I've learned a lot of things about broker standing in the gap for peace. It is only normal for administrators to go around now organizing 1 or 2 meetings with heads, quarter heads and all the others. One of the things you don't know is that these quarter heads may not stop you from doing what you're doing, but they will take down your names. They know who is who in the quarters. They know who did what in the quarters. Sometimes you see they just come and pick you at odd hours and you ask, how did they come? No, it's because they have held meetings with people who can know. That's why you see one army general have made it clear. He said he's advising parents to take responsibility for their children, meaning that whatever happens at that moment, the parents are going to be held responsible. Therefore, at this point in time, parents have the responsibility to tell their children that politicians are fighting. Shift your head from it. Parents have the responsibility to tell their children, We have seen how many other people lost their lives during crisis. Now, I don't want to lose you. I have a few of you. I want you to be alive. I don't have money to run around for cases and other things. So I prefer you stay home. Therefore, those who will be brokering peace or maybe putting order in our communities now are these parents. That's the beginning of everything. Parents must take their place now to say we are not going to enter into something we don't know where they are taking us to. We are going somewhere we don't know where it's going to. That's how they told us in Northwest and Southwest. Until tomorrow, we are still going. We'll never reach place where we go. So therefore, we are trying to say, when you see authorities going around, they are trying to see how to put peace. They are trying to see how to, take statistics to understand how to manage and to curb crisis and to put things in place. The next people I will be telling you is pastors and leaders in the nation. Unfortunately, pastors and leaders are the most emotional people at this moment. No, pastors, no. Bishops, prophets, apostles, no. At this moment, we are not emotional. We are supposed to handle this matter. We are the experts that were trained for peace. Because the Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. So at this time, you're pushing your members to go to the streets. Let me tell you, by the time your members will not come back to pay tithes and offering in your church, you will not be able to pay rents for your church, for your houses, and whatever. Then you will not understand the implication of war and the implication of crisis.
Is that how tithes money is used?
Yes, it solves some basic problems for pastors' upkeep and then rents for the churches.
Okay.
That's what it's done.
Okay.
Yes. So exactly, when there is crisis, landlords will still take their rents. When there is crisis, you will still need to buy food for your children, and you have debts to pay and so on. And you want to solve a particular crisis in a nation where you know you are not at the position to solve it. You are not at the level where you can solve it. Ladies and gentlemen, at our level, we cannot solve a crisis in a nation. Politicians know what to do. They can give a shot, they can call a shot, and they can cancel the shot. Politicians know what to do. Pastors, don't get there. You will suffer more than any other thing. Those in Southwest and Northwest who left to come to Douala, go to Yaoundé and other parts of the nation, they can tell you what it takes to be able to come back to yourself. It means that you are telling us we should be thinking of how to migrate to another part of any nation, and you are preaching hate, you are preaching war, you are preaching violence, and you want people to get up and pick bottles and pick these things and go to the streets. Let me tell you the truth. The streets already have streets people, and they are ready to have people who can join them to do that thing better than what you can do. So at any time when you provoke your own good children to join them, the truth is, what you see, you will collect it. You and I will be having conflicts. After that, the politicians will drink and feel very good and fine. Pastors and leaders, you will join now to see how to work out this thing. You may have other solutions that the government don't have. You may have other solutions that I don't have, or us in the studio don't have. Because we are talking here, from everything you see, a lot of emotions are involved. Because people are angry. People are sad. The same hunger you are going through, I go through it. The same pressure. When they block the road here for more than how many days? We use 8 hours from Douala to Boya. All of us suffered it. I was on traffic for 8 hours. We suffered it, all of us. But the truth is, we don't take a road we don't know where we are going to. These things are easy to start, but how to end it is what we don't know. It may not end today, it may not end tomorrow. Ask yourself, you have 4 children, 5 children. It's not even easy for you to take care of. Look how many children in the Northwest and the Southwest who can't go to school because of the instabilities and other things. Then you want us to add these ones that have run and come down to Douala, have gone to Yaoundé. You want us to add a lot of them again, so that we become a society of illiterate people. Please, we beg in the name of God, pastors and leaders, top apostles and big apostles, we are hungry, we know. We are tired, we know. But we are supposed to be peace brokers. Yes, you call for justice. I also call for justice. But as an educated person, I came to understand that justice is for the interest of the stronger party. I know it is the stronger party that will always win in justice, whether we like it or yes. So now we know we can do so little about it. What can we do? Because I know how politicians should do. Politicians should prepare their campaigns not the day to election. They should do it for 7 years or 8 years or 10 years. What should they do? They should be able to create, connections and international relations that can support them in case of crisis. But do you know something? They shouldn't use the masses as a shield during this period, because these are innocent people, and it's against the law to use civilians as a shield. Maybe CPDM or maybe whatever party.
Okay.
Using civilians at this time to get to the street or whatever is not correct. I don't think I accept that.
You will have something to say?
I have something to say.
Very briefly, yeah.
Yes. What I want to say here is that we are at a juncture that we have to revisit our way of life. And revisiting our way of life is just to call to ourselves and ask, what do we really want for a great Cameroon? We should know that for a country to emerge, you have to have, first of all, the independent, political independence. And I think from political independence, we go to economic independence. Because if you start the other way around, it won't work. At this juncture, Cameroon is writing a history that may look a type, but in few days, we shall see that the history will look beautiful. So let anybody not be called to go to the streets. No. This is the time political parties who were not returned during the recent elections, and even those who were returned during the present elections should join and propagate for policy revolution. Policy revolution is what will change Cameroon. Policy revolution has changed Ghana, has changed Kenya, has changed South Africa.
How should they do that?
They do what? They go
in
into
opposition. How do they do that in the opposition?
They do it in the opposition in such a opposition come together and look into the electoral code and look into certain policies that doesn't favor the citizens, like the dual nationality.
There was a coalition that was formed between 7 political parties for the past 5 years. They came up with a proposal for changes to be made in the electoral code, which was tabled until date. No feedback has come. So how do you do that?
It shows that their voices never went through because they never had the masses behind them. They wanted to do it on their own. It's something that should be organized. People come out massively, and it is true.
No. When you say
there are points.
How do you want people to come out massively?
People that is, we need to make advocacy and tell that, look, if these things are changed, and we saw that if this type of policies are changed, that is where we shall start and having a standard government. Because
but how do you put that pressure? Because these opposition guys have done that. I remember the Professor Maurice Kamto was in that coalition. Honorable Joshua C was there. Honorable Tomaino Ndamjoya was there. Honorable Cabral Libi was there. Prince Ekoso was there. I'm sure the guy of MP, Zipang, all of them. They worked so hard. Yeah, they came up with.
You just cited some political parties, and when I look through them, I will see that they don't have even up to 20 political parliamentarians. You see, so we have to focus on community politics in such a way that political parties that go in for it should have a good number of parliamentarians to influence.
These are the most popular parties in Cameroon.
Yes, but they don't have a good number of parliamentarians. You have just cited them. If you count the number of parliamentarians that they have, they are not up to 20 or 25.
So why don't you think that the people don't believe in them?
If you look at the political party, what the recent elections that just passed, you will see that the election was between CPTM and FSNC, and the other political parties came out with barely nothing. It shows that they have to go back to the bench of politics.
Okay,
and
you were just going to talk
yes.
briefly, but I'm still reading from the Episcopal Conference statement that was issued today. It says that The results of each candidate were made public in the 12,257 polling stations where we observed. And since the counting was public, the people recognized themselves in the votes that were counted and left generally satisfied. As the people left, they expressed the hope that they will still recognize themselves in the results that will be published by the Constitutional Council, and that nothing will be changed by any authority involved in this exercise. This is Episcopal. Are they suspicious of what may happen?
They are not just suspicious, they are already saying what will happen indirectly.
Okay.
They are just saying what will happen indirectly. Because the indicators are clear. For example, if you see what they are saying there, if you go to Momo Division where I come from, I tell you that there's no perfect crime. And sometimes these CPDM guys working with the LECAM, sometimes I don't know what's happening with them. I will say working with the LECAM because there are LECAM guys who were caught also involved in that. Now you discover that I come from Momo Division, and for someone to tell me that 21,303 persons voted President Pobia in Momo Division, this is witchcraft in broad daylight. Momo Division had ghost town on that day. Worst of it, there was serious rainfall, and even compounded the few persons who could manage. Thirdly, in Momo Division, just like in any other restive area, you know the police stations are grouped together. You can easily understand. It's not like in Douala where they are disposed because they don't have security challenges. We attended several meetings with Elekam, and they even made us to understand that for security reasons, they are grouping the police station in one area. You go to one primary school, you have more than 20 police stations, some 10, you have 15. Because of the nature of some were removed from areas that were dangerous and brought back to those areas. Which means it is easier for you to have an analysis of how the elections went in an area. Maybe they went out to government primary school Chigwiri, they grouped them together in those areas like that. You could see in the government primary school, also in Batibo, you could see how they were grouping them in areas where you have 10, 5, 6 police stations. And in an area where you could hardly see people moving on the street. Listen, I don't know how sometimes these guys don't know how to steal. And you tell lies in broad daylight because I say stealing why? In those areas I had reporters on the ground. I was concentrating in Kumba, but I had reporters in my division. And from time to time I was asking, how is it in Batibo? How is it in Winnipeg the same as that ghost town while there? That ghost town while. How out of a sudden ghosts they resurfaced and they are in their thousands. That you have 21,000 in Momo Division for Pobia and 738 for Isa Chiroma Bakari. Now that one is an error. And some people tell us that they told us that Batibo itself had 50,000 streets that were deserted. Listen, you people are just still joking. When I see we are preaching peace here, we are running away from the shadow. You will preach peace, the ICC man of the civil society, you know, our man of peace here, who is the Reverend too, will preach peace. Call a spade a spade. If we are calling on peace, it means that something is at stake. It means some quarter somewhere have forced the peace that we have, we are enjoying to be jeopardized. They should correct it first from there, and they will not stress in preaching peace. Now look at it at this same scenario, Mr. Leo. How do you understand? Now, the war itself caused people to relocate. You have when the people were migrating from one area to another. Now, if you come to Momo Division, many people have left. Most of those who are in Momo Division, they are here in Douala. Some are in Compania, some are in Suza, some are in Limbe, now. In their numbers, Yaoundé, in a different level. You go to those areas, Swa, most of them are there. And then, you look at it. Those who listen to me from Bamenda, listen very well. Eleka people, I don't know who they are officials who cooked all those bullshits. We know that Mezam Division is the most populated division in the Northwest region. You cannot tell me that Momo Division, if you take 21,303 plus 738, it gives you 22,000 something. I'm talking only for 2 candidates. The other ones had 10, had some few numbers. Approximately, we had 22,000 something that voted in Momo Division. And then when you come to Mezam Division, here they are error. They don't even know how to steal elections. You say in Mezam Division, President Paul Biya harvested 15,886, which means Momo Division gave 21,000 for President Paul Biya, which is less populated. Even by very good people have escaped. And then you tell me that in Mezam Division, where upstation was very buoyant, and then you tell me that only 15,000 in the Northwest region voted. You can see the kind of irony. You don't even know how to steal elections. Come on, let us teach you how to do these things. Though we are not doing it because it's wrong. Now, Isa Chiroma Bakari gets 6,447. If you group it together, 15 times plus 6, it means that just Momo division, the people who voted for President Paul Biya alone, 21,000 something, their number as smart or it's more than those who voted in Mezam division, both Issa Chiroma Bakari and Paul Biya combined. You can see the kind of way people don't even know how to steal elections. And then Jian, I will not even talk about Jian because when I see the election, the results coming from Jian, an area that people at themselves, many of them who are in the main towns in Jian, let me tell those who come from Jian, they don't even know. If you are in Kokoboma, let me believe Kokoboma is the other division, Guti. If you come to Jian itself, if you are moving towards, you bypass Kake, you are talking about Ngwanti. Bingwanti are moving ahead. That is Bonga division. Now, if you go down to areas like Kombo, Abedimo, Kombo, Etindi, and all those areas, what is happening there? The police stations were grouped in a particular area. And secondly, we understand that most of those who are there in the main areas during the war went far off. They went more than 22 to 50 kilometers at the main outskirts of the town. There are villages at the outskirts of Mundemba that were not even existing before. That people ran because of the crisis. They are not comfortable there. Elekam is not even there. It's not even there. Most of these villages you see from Meme division going to Jian along the roadside. There are other villages behind the mountain. I mean, where to even take and go there is not Biscuit.
Around Bomoko.
Bomoko, further even. I mean, after Bomoko, you have some people from where along the roadside. If you are going from Meme division, moving towards all those corridors, going to Bonge, now you go now right out to Kondo Titi, and then you are getting down towards Mundemba. There are areas that you pay from those main roads. Main road, you pay 25,000 fast to go to the villages, which means other villages have been formed, areas have created there because people had to shift from the main area where the battle was taking place. And these areas don't have police stations. I'm sure the government does not know about those things. They should know. And then now, you come and tell us more than 33,000. Come on. Even to steal with a lot of, with some respect. Don't steal in a wild manner that we see figures, we ask it. But even though there was ghost town, but these 33,000 people something, where did they come from? It means there were also ghosts that came out. So at the end of it, we'll talk about Constitutional Council. Just like my brother mentioned here that you have problems, you should go to the courts. And I asked, are you in Cameroon? Which courts are you talking about? If Issa Chiroma Bakari says he's not filing any petition because he knows the Constitutional Council. Now, Cameroonians, do you know that the Constitutional Council functions is not even, people mistake the Constitutional Council function like a court, it's not a court. The Constitutional Council functions as an institution put in place by the regime, by President Paul Biya. It is not even like the court because the courts have different ways of functioning. That you could even appeal. There are things you could take. The court could even look at it. You could refer your court cases to the Gambia, to other areas, and it's looked at because it was from another court to another court. Constitutional Council is not a court. It is a council that is created to take care of issues of elections. And who are those who are managing that particular council? Now you realize that they stupefy Cameroonians. You come and say the Constitutional Council and they say they are hearing litigations. Are they courts? No. And they sit and they are hearing litigations. Then what is the function of the Supreme Court? All those other courts. Those are supposed to have been their duties. So at the end of it, when you create a council, and that council is answerable to one man, that's why Issa Chiroma Bakari said it is a waste of time going there. Because what results do you expect? You cannot expect results differently. If you put doctor results at this level, and then putting the image of Cameroon to shame, until even Nigerian bloggers are making their contents on Cameroon, on how votes themselves, you have this number of thousands inflated, and we are not even ashamed. I have said under normal condition, those who have
you are raising situations of voter irregularities here, but he says that we should follow the legal path to seeking solutions to these problems that you are raising,
which is a waste of time, as I mentioned. Because I told him that if he says he should follow the legal, who are those manning that legal aspect he's saying? If you are a Cameroonian, you cannot explain to me what he is saying. Is it normal that we have proofs of people rigging elections? He's talking about legal.
I have said officials should acknowledge the fact that it was not well managed.
No, they are saying they should follow the legal.
They should follow legal actions. Acknowledging and following legal actions is the best.
I want to let you know how the way you are talking, you
are ending to the street without a solution.
No.
We look at
solution.
You don't talk about animating the gallery. We don't animate the gallery. We talk and direct people. We talk and direct people where to go.
No.
I am landing here.
Yes.
That for me.
Yes.
When you were speaking, nobody.
Yes, I just wanted to put that point in there.
This is the second time you are intervening.
Yes.
Just to learn, when you want to address a problem, you look at the cause of it. This is clear. In political science, you don't provide solution when you have to look at the root cause, because if you provide a solution, without looking at the root cause, you are bound to come back to the same thing occurring. What is the evidence? In the aftermath of the Anglophone crisis, we have had cosmetic solutions that refused to address the root cause of the problem. That's why 7-8 years plus, we are still on the crisis now. Do we want it to repeat itself? If we are on a platform, the civil society will say solution. What is a solution? Sometimes I begin to ask myself, how do you bring about a solution when you are not looking at who caused the problem that you are looking for the solution?
Okay.
If not, others will take the same suit and be preaching. That's why I said that we are here on earth.
I want us to go practical. For now, we want that people should carry themselves properly, responsibly from now till elections are released, and after that. Practically speaking, how do we achieve this?
To achieve this, it is very clear that the government should acknowledge that the elections were not well managed. Then, and it calls for tolerance in law, because when they talk of justice, to take the train of justice, there is tolerance, there is this fairness. You know, these two facts takes us to peace. But acknowledging it is already good, and asking others who feel cheated to follow legal recourse. Those are the strategies to follow. But if we just go like playing the gallery, this is not the moment to play the gallery. The pain is already there. But we look how can we do to push forward. So we call on government officials, on a legal official or constitutional council to be more humane and to know the type of talk, the way they will talk to the people, the way to explain to the people, to show that there is pain somewhere, but this is how we can manage it, and assure the nation that the fact that it has been in this way, we can still come out of the crisis by putting good governance on the table. Because even who wins without practicing good governance, therefore we are still beating about the bush. And what we have proposed at ISCC is that an inclusive governance, that is the 12 political parties that went in for this recent presidential election, they should have inclusive governance. They should not make government, the next government, and putting some political parties out. No, if they were retained, it shows that the fate of Cameroon, that is the future of Cameroon, is in the hands of those 12 candidates. And we propose and hold to the fact that if they have inclusive government with these 12 candidates and they have national reconciliation, they will tend to look at the crisis and the Boko Haram insurgents. You know, the internal crisis are putting us down just because we are so divisive in our nature. And the stakeholders, they just play the gallery, they sit in their time comfort zones, and the society is being decayed. So we also say that the government should make sure that there is absolute decentralization, where resources from the council, the mayors can have the power to employ. They should be manufacturing company or plantation. Those are the things, because if people are working, they get up in the morning, they halfway to go and do their duties, they will know who they gone. All these people holding guns in the northwest and southwest, and even the Boko Haram, is because they are jobless. They are totally jobless. They should create employment creation. That is what we help people.
Yeah, that will be after elections.
For now, I've said the government should acknowledge that things have been managed in a bad way, and they are acknowledging a wrong, and are asking for an apology to the nation. I think it will bring some appeasement, and even go to as far as even saying that some political prisoners can come out from the prison. I think it will be some appeasement they are putting to the population. People will instead forget that way of election and be jubilating instead. Because you know there are some people that have been in prison for more than 8 years or so. Then if today they are liberated, they have presidential clemency or something of the sort. Only that if they have all these things at the table, it is something that will bring will show that the future of Cameroon is not bleak. The future of Cameroon is being designed by designers, and they bring in economists. Because one funny thing is that when they want to bring in other people, it should not only be from the ruling party, the ruling party that will take the next government. That is, it should be people that are technocrats. Because Cameroon need what? technocrats these days, because with technocrats they can transform the nation. With technocrats, with economists, the economy of the Cameroon can boom.
No, you are going back to governance issues.
Governance issues help us out of this issue.
No. We are talking about from now to the proclamation and after results. Practically speaking, what should politicians be doing now and their militants?
Actually, like we have been saying, all the blames at this moment falls in the hands of politicians, whether they like it or yes. Because if we want to talk about the masses gave their cause and politicians never adhered to it. So how come you want to hold firm but on their votes? That is where we have a problem. You are telling us that they should listen to the masses or the people, but the masses called you, they asked you, they pleaded with you. We spoke on television stations and debates that should come together so that you can help people from the challenges, but you never adhere. So now it's your responsibility to broker for peace. Your responsibility. Don't look for any coalition that you're looking for big positions and money. That's where our politicians fail in this thing. When you now have put the people in arms danger, where they are faced with the gun, the machetes, the knives, and the prisons, your conscience should be very lively. In Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan said that for him to see the blood spilled on the streets because he was hunting for power, it's better that he give up every other thing. We saw Peter Obi in Nigeria. He said he will not accept anybody to go on the streets on his behalf, because whatever comes out of there, he should not be held responsible, because he did not want posterity to blame him. He did not want posterity to come after him. What will stop Joshua C from starting an evangelism for peace and to put down Cabral Libi and the others, even to meet the political actors and talk with them? This country, if it gets to anything today, we will not even see the governance to hold tomorrow, the country to govern, because rebels will rise, different factions and groups will rise. Some of these things bring a lot of complications in the country. Do you know that the Boko Haram will take another phase? Do you know that Southwest and Northwest will gain steam? Do you know that these things would affect the existing tensions that are existing? So we are calling politicians, go back to the grassroots. That same place you trekked for miles to get to meet the people for their votes. That same place you mounted podiums to talk to people. You can still go back there and preach peace to them and tell them it is time for us to protect the nation's integrity than our ego, our pride, our quest for power taking the place of authority. Some of you are angry because the memorandum of understanding was not weighty enough. This one say, I was supposed to be the one to lead. And then, those same people you want them to push you to those places, they are now at arm's edge. You sit and you say, be calm. Let me tell you, human beings don't act the way we want. They act before they think. And then I would still tell our politicians, at this moment in our nation, Cameroon, it's not the time to fail the masses, because that job that they would have had, maybe or they don't have, a living dog is better than a dead lion. When you are dead, you cannot have a job. When you are dead, you cannot create a job, and so on and so forth. This is what our politicians have to preach to the people.
Yeah, but you cited Joshua C. Who else should go down to the field?
Cabral Libi. Those are people that went to Bamenda. They risked the guns and everything, and they went to Bamenda.
Should CPDM militants who won heavily in the Northwest and Southwest region where he says that some of these figures are unreasonable. Should they themselves not also go and actually convince people to reason like
you have just said that they are already holding talks and meetings with people in the quarters.
No, I said
administrators.
They are not CPDM.
Most of the administrators are CPDM.
No. Please.
Yes.
The DOs are expected to be neutral.
Okay.
They are expected to. Yeah. Except you say that the governor and the SDOs are talking on behalf of the CPDM.
Well, I cannot say that.
We know
For example,
we know politicians who are in the CPDM. Yeah. Should they, because they are the ones, the DOs did not do campaigns.
Exactly.
Yeah. Should the CPDM politicians themselves, should they not also go for peace?
Like we just see the chiefs.
Are they CPDM?
Most of the chiefs that came out are CPDM members.
Why are you taking out the real politicians?
No, I am just trying to cite. I cannot just go directly to. We will cite from this.
We know CPDM politicians. Yes. Why the chiefs are supposed to be neutral?
Okay. Now, when we talk about the CPDM and the outings, most of them did their outings in their communities. Everyone went back to their community. So they still have the power to get to their community to say, please, we're sorry. We don't offend you and everything. Now, the reason I cannot talk much on these statistics that our brother is giving is because I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe it's from internet, maybe from something else. For now, yes, I don't know where it's coming from. So I cannot discuss on those statistics. The only time I will discuss about statistics is after the Constitutional Council has told us that there was this way, there was that. Then I said, no, I don't think it was like that. For now, it is Facebook that gave us statistics. And I cannot be building my findings on Facebook. I cannot be building my findings on results that are not founded because somebody picked it and typed it on his computer and sent it.
Are we saying that because now you see people are making statements, right? Yes. Raising tension. You are saying so. Yes. All those things you see on Facebook, should we also wait till after people start manifesting to be sure that what we are seeing on Facebook is not true? Why don't you want to believe one for Facebook and you believe the other for Facebook?
No, because this thing I'm saying now is, Mr. Leo, what we are saying now, the next time we come here, we'll change the discussion. You know why I'm saying this? No. Because it will be bloody.
No.
Because people are hungry.
It will not be bloody, please. It will not be bloody.
Yes, okay.
But why do you think it's going to be bloody?
That's why we are preaching peace. Why are we preaching peace?
No,
it's because we are afraid of what will happen tomorrow.
Why? Okay. why do you think people are angry, man of God?
They are angry because of the things that are happening in our communities that we all know.
What is it?
Bad roads, bad governance, all the things. These are the things that everybody sees it. Are you going to hide it? No. It will tell me that I should refuse it. It's not true. All of us see it. And even the political parties, they say it. That is true. Things have not been going well. Because I don't know why maybe in the space of 2 years, they will be redoing a particular road more than 3 to 4 times. It means that people take contracts and they don't execute it. And nobody comes after them. And it becomes a problem. So I will not refuse that there is bad governance. There are some things that are not going. So people are angry. So what we should do is, how do we fix these things? Like he has suggested, proposed some things, which I know the Cameroon government usually does that. That's why Bello Buba was also part of the government. Issa Chiroma was part of the government. Many others were part of the government. That is how the government works and integrates most of these parties to function as part of the government. I think they will do that again.
Instead of making this statement, it is true that the governor in the Adamawa region is going to be meeting some leaders of some communities. The senior divisional officer for Sanaga Maritime is also going to be meeting some leaders. But are these the appropriate persons who should be engaging peace? How much confidence does the community actually have on these guys? Why don't we also ask the archbishops not only to be giving these statements, but to start engaging some of these stakeholders themselves, some reputable, trustworthy civil society organizations to engage this, because already people have a perception when they hear they are coming to talk to a cheftair. They already know that cheftair is, like you were saying, people have the perception that they are CPDM. That's the perception. Some traditional rulers already, people know that this is the CPDM. So why not get some neutral persons to start making this engagement? Like you say that, okay, let us form a government of national unity and all of that. Maybe this is also going to bring down this
appeasement.
Yes, but why don't we get neutral persons to do this job? Because almost everything is done by the same persons who may necessarily not be experts in the domain.
It is often said, if the gods want to make you mad, they take wisdom away from you. Doing the same thing and expecting different results does not hold. We have to be practical on this platform, and that's why I said that. The reason why they cannot use other persons, reason number one, the few persons who managed to vote after they were convinced, after they had given up, managed to vote, or managed rather to align behind a particular political presidential candidate, and only realized that the candidate were not defending their votes as they were stolen on the spot. These presidential candidates know themselves that they cannot stand in front of those people any longer. And so, respect is earned. You work for respect. If I go and talk out, people come out, oh, kangaroo man, and they vote for me, and the next day somebody is rigging the election, and I start saying, no, you cannot do the election, they will feel proud. If I come and tell them, okay, now I thought it did not go, now just calm down, they will easily listen. What am I saying? Most of everyone I say, even the organization we're talking about here, all of them are playing a hanky-panky game. Everyone's looking for where to eat his own small crumbs, and the grammar is coming up and down. But we know all those things. Why are these people not coming out? Do you know that most of these presidential candidates, their language were already changing along the line? Why the populace expected them to back up the votes, they stayed quiet. In the National Vote Counting Commission, what caused FNC to go out was because the results themselves were not telling what they had in their PV.
Yeah, the results that came in from the southwest
and northwest was what angered them.
Yeah,
it was a scandal. Mm-hmm. And so they said, even if results from the other areas are not telling with our PV, but for northwest south, that we know that it was ghost town. Secondly, we know the climate under which they are existing cannot give this kind of high percentage, which means sometimes their turnout was even more than people were in the normal areas. You start asking, were there ghosts who came overnight? Now, those who had the stamina to fight back or show proof that they are for the people, they are the people that you send them back to go and talk. For example, with the population of Eastern Chioma gathered without any advertisement or so, if Eastern Chioma has the possibility of going back to talk to the people, they will listen to him. There are other politicians, they have already shown the way they are. You come back, people are eradicating, you say, no, just leave it. Let's wait for the Constitutional Council. Things that you see that are wrong, you are not condemning them as a politician who wanted to be president. You instead tell them, just calm down, let's wait for the results. It now tells you that even you yourself, you will play the hanky-panky game. So credibility is what is lacking in the people you are talking about, Mr. Leo. Mm-hmm. For the bishops themselves, you know they cannot just go like that. The atmosphere is for tense. And so it has to take some calculation before you move. But for the GOs, I want to first of all appreciate them. Any GO who has taken the move or a governor. And what happens now, it is a matter of personality. There are some governors people know that no. Look at the period of Abubakar Hamad when he was governor in the Northwest region and all the like. People knew that Abubakar Hamad did not take bribe. I've done one-on-one interview with him. I have gone to where he had been governing the Northwest and done random sampling. And people said no, that governor was a no-nonsense governor. Now, if this kind of person is coming out, had it been he was a governor now, and he's coming out, no, people will listen in his area of jurisdiction. So now it's a matter of personality. The GO who is coming out, do you know him as a straightforward somebody? If yes, people will have some idea of listening to him. But if they know him as a kangaroo GO, as others who can go move behind the CPDM and these guys, you'll be wasting your time. You could instead put fire or put fuel in the fire where it's not supposed to be. So these persons know themselves. If you know that you don't have credibility, just leave it, let us manage our trouble the way we are. Don't just come in front of us and be telling us ground, because you will be calling more trouble where there's no trouble.
I have a point.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, what I want to say is that we should not go too far looking for people who go back to the communities to tell the communities what to do. I think ISCC came out with a word the other day that the 12 presidential candidates are the direct source to talk to the people. if the 12 come out with only press conference, or they talk from their sources and share to their militants, the militants will not come out. Let them talk to the people. Let these 12 presidential candidates talk to their people, because they represent the nation. The nation of Cameroon was put into their hands. Let them handle this moment till the result come out. Because imagine if Issa Chiluma can talk from Garwa, Cabral Libi, O.C. Joshua, Madame Dam, President Paul Biya, and other people, all the presidential candidates, they should give their words. I think there will be appeasement, there will be peace until we have the next government, without any other thing than for people to travel again, go where we know very well that they are not credible, because most of these parliamentarians, they are not credible where they are. The result on ground have shown. If not, there would have not been problems as Mr. Kangaroo is saying here. So we give a communication out in a special way, not to stir the hearts of people. That is why we see that we use certain methods of talking to the population, because if you are angry, I must come with a low tune to talk to you. But if you are angry or you are tense, and I raise up my voice again, I think it will crack. So we are pleading that no matter what, no matter who takes the throne of Cameroon, he is going to rule Cameroon well, and the next generation will
no matter who takes is going to rule Cameroon well.
Please, I don't know the result. That's why I say
no matter.
I don't
That's
know the result.
We are finished.
Maybe.
Thank you,
my brother. I know where we are heading to, because we know what we have at hand at ICC to propose to the next government. Because this government, we came in at the time that they were already running out. So we want to work with the next government. We have a lot in our bands to propose to the government. That's why I say
the next government is the one who is reconfirmed.
Even if it is the one which is reconfirmed, we are going to transform them. We are going to pull their legs to work according to the powers of the people.
You have not succeeded. You yourself will succeed.
My brother, we know what we are saying.
So you are a magic association. No?
Yes, we are magic association, and we have been doing it. As I've been calling that, the 12 presidential candidates should talk, and there will be peace.
Who are these 12 presidential candidates?
The people that went for the recent presidential election.
You are naming everybody except the president of the republic.
I said even President Paul Biya, I named him.
No.
Okay, you will talk to him.
The incumbent should talk.
Okay.
Yes, all the presidential candidates. He was a candidate. He should talk to the nation as well. That is actually.
So your association would force him to talk.
That is we create awareness. That's our role. Maybe you are not inside. Don't talk something that you are not. We create awareness.
You are not grandma are talking, sir. That grandma are talking.
We create awareness.
We don't know how far they are gone. We don't know what they are doing.
You are talking.
We don't know what
you
they
don't know me. You don't know me well. You don't know.
Now what was fighting about ICC go and come down, master.
You are making gallery because you are talking here, master. Instead steering the people.
Please.
You know like that. What you are talking? Please. What are you talking about?
What are you talking
about that doesn't have solutions? We talk about solutions, we don't talk about noise. It's no gallery. You are playing gallery there.
Please.
We are talking gallery there. We talk solutions. We give solutions.
Have you ever provided?
Yes, we provide.
How you possible sit down and put the response? We are in the brink of trouble here. You're telling us
you are talking nonsense. You want to make
what are you proposing?
Please, you are proposing.
You have not proposed anything.
Please, you have proposed nothing.
You proposed.
Since you started.
Please.
What have you proposed?
Please.
You are making gallery here. Come to make noise.
Please.
Don't make noise here. They come with solutions.
That your own is zero organization. That's most organization.
Give zero right. And I'm telling that the solution.
I am a journalist. I know that create impact.
The
thing is rich and
12 candidates should talk to the people.
We are all this guy. Don't allow us here.
What do you have? What do you have? What have you proposed?
Let me ask you now. Propose now.
You are steering the people. Instead of you are giving and the same people. Are you from the Constitutional Council giving no result? Are you a camp?
Please.
You see how you stay.
You have information more than you have.
What happened? Please, you are not allowed.
From back,
you are not allowed to do that.
You said that you should not intervene.
You are not allowed to do that.
Please, can we stop? Can we stop? Please, can we stop it? Doctor, we are ending at this juncture. Your last word to those watching us.
Thank you very much, my brothers and sisters, my friends. We should never forget that the politicians are the ones having the yam and the knife. We are only spectators, and maybe we are called to do certain things which our hands are tied. And I want to tell you the truth. Please, let's stay calm. Let's believe what God can do in this nation. And I want to tell the pastors, if we also join others to cry, the truth about it is that we don't believe in a God that can change kings. He puts down one and raise up another. And when the time comes, people don't need to die like in other countries. We see people, countries are changing without people killing. That's why you see, like in England, they have, they have the glorious revolution. We should believe in such processes to change a country and not killing, fighting, one thing or the other. So please, let's get back to work. Each and everyone will be working at our own corner and see how to build the best out of our communities and our society. So help us God.
Yes, the last word.
Yeah, my last word is that for the country to move forward, we need practical things. It is true, the man of God talks about we need to pray and other like yes, but that prayer, faith without work, does not produce results. So what we need to do is that we need to appeal on the powers that be. One, they should have pity on us. Even if you want to do something wrong, try and help us think of the consequences. A wrong government action on solving the Anglophone crisis gave birth to where we are today and gave birth to what we call Amber. Now, if they don't hold this one well, it might give birth to another name that we don't even know the name that they will give. And at the end of it, those of us who are here in Douala will start running back to another area, which means will be caught between the Devon and the Deep Blue Sea. When you come to Amber, say, you be wrong, you don't come, man. You want to come this way again. This area is hot. At the end of it, we will even just collapse before the time comes. And it might never be saving for those themselves who caused the problem. So what I'm just appealing is that the powers that be, it is not time to shout at Cameroonians who are going through a lot. I'm sure our Prime Minister is level-headed, Chief Dr. Joseph Ngoche. He should help us talk to his collaborators. They should treat us with a lot of caution because we are already going through a lot. And at the end of it, I pray that the powers that be, they should carry out their information on the ground to know the temperature of what is happening on the ground, so that any action they want to put, they should not, an action is equal to a reaction. And so they should give us an action that should not cause a reaction that we cannot control. By so doing, we will be able to come back and think of the problem in the Northwest and the Southwest. If not, adding more trouble to what we have already, it might be difficult for them to chew and difficult for them to swallow. My focus is them. Because if you put in place a good platform that prevents peace being jeopardized, you will not be giving us work to be quarreling here on the platform about peace up, come down. No. It is the responsibility of the government to ensure peace and security. And the peace and security are ensuring of persons and their properties depends on the action you put in place. So don't give us much work. We are quarreling now in the studio. Very soon we should go and be peace ambassadors. Somebody can even slap me on the road if I'm coming to talk peace when he has not eaten since morning. So it's another problem you are calling on myself. So do the peace yourself. Do the right things. We will not stress. I will just see the peace will come automatic, that we will not be going over and coming down. For those of our elites, please, I'm begging you. I knew you took part in wrong things because you are fighting for your stomach. But you have amassed a lot of wealth. Help us do us a lot of good. Forget about that money you have amassed as a senator, parliamentarian, and all the like. Please, it is not even late. Go to those guys now and tell that, please, even though these results came here, I want to attest that I was in Batibo, I was in Bengui. The results are not too correct, please. Is there any way we can adjust them to give justice to these guys? You will be representing us. If not, after this election is proclaimed, if it does not reflect the will of the people, the parliamentarians that were representing us as senators and the mayors, all of you will be on your own from today henceforth. Hear very well. It's okay.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
For me.
Fellow Cameroonians, at this juncture that we are here, we wish that we listen very well to what is going on. To us, we prefer community politics that hold the standard of a nation. You know, what has already been on table, we have noticed that there have been hitches here and there, and we should already accept what shall be proclaimed tomorrow, and hold our leaders accountable when by 2026, when there will be presidential, parliamentary and municipal elections. Those who falsified or did anything in their communities will pay the price, because they will no more have it again. So as of this, look at the bigger picture of the nation. Try to embrace your brother or your sister. Don't, because the nation continues. all of us will pass away, but Cameroon will remain. And if the Cameroon is remaining, is it the Cameroon that we want to be with tense? We should calm down. We should calm down and look that we should start changing from our local communities, from our areas, from our houses. We should look at that one first and hold to it ourselves and believe that if this one has already passed away, we should make sure that the community politics, which is parliamentary and municipal elections, that same thing should not repeat itself. And on to Elekam, who maybe the trained people, the people that manage the election who are not well trained, they should put more emphasis on training the president of the police stations and other people that shall be involved in the election. They should do proper training time and time again so that they master it very well. Because in Cameroon, even magistrates, even some lawyers, they don't master electoral code. They don't master how elections are being managed. That is one funny thing, because to master elections, you have to go a special course for it. That is something that people may not know. They just think that because you are a lawyer, you are a magistrate, you know everything. No, it is a full schooling. You go back to the bench and learn it again. So we should not just think, and social media users should refrain. Please know what you share at this juncture. Verify information, go to the right sources, go to websites, meet media personalities, ask information. Call even Prime Mr. Leo, and even the Kangaroo man, as he's saying, but Mr. Kangaroo, please, sometimes at this juncture we have to manage the people very well, because there are some hired journalists to steer the nation, and they are hired journalists that are being, they use statements that are derogatory.
Do I look like one who is hired?
They are hired journalists who use any type of...
You are not referring to me.
I'm saying there are some hired journalists.
I don't see the
so
space
if
here.
you feel that you are among them, therefore it's your...
You are looking for money from me now.
So the fact is that, as I'm saying,
go and come down.
The nation is at the level that our leaders should acknowledge the wrongs that were done on the ground. Look for the way forward. Look at appeasement. As I earlier said, that the appeasement that will receive most will be, they should show to us that they should liberate political prisoners, and we shall start celebrating before the proclamation of the presidential election of this year.
Okay, thank you, Tafomi, for coming. Thank you, Mr. Farr, and also to you, Dr. Esingi, and to all of you for watching. Thank you. Tomorrow, take another rendezvous on my Media Prime TV, 7 p.m. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.